Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we met again this week. And today, inshallah, for marketing module, I'm going to continue with pricing practice in Islam. Okay, so this is the learning outcomes in which hopefully after the session, we can have some insights on how the pricing practices are different, from the conventional and Islamic. Okay, so we have actually looked previously, okay, because basically price is still, okay, we are talking about one of the four P's, of marketing mix element, okay, in which in the last class, I've talked about promotion, and before that, Dr. Tahi have a brief on product. Yeah. So today we are going to go to the third P, which is the price. Before the last one, which is place. Inshallah, in the next week. All right. So when we talk about price, okay, what is special about price is because if we compare with the other three P's, which is the product, promotion, and also place, price is the only P, okay, that generates revenue, for the organization. Yeah. If we talk about product, for example, you have to spend money, for us or for the entrepreneurs or for the organization, okay, to produce product. Yeah. Similarly, if you want to do promotion, okay, you have to, for example, pay for the advertisement. And if you want to distribute, okay, probably you have to pay for the rental. Okay, but price is the one that determines the revenue, and from the revenue, this is where the organization or the company will derive the profits. Yeah, so that's why pricing decision is very important, okay, to ensure, okay, the profitability and also the survival, okay, of the business. Yeah, because the business basically is not being established, for only for a short term period. Okay, we can see many people can open business, okay, but not many actually can survive the business in the long run. Okay, so the pricing decision, okay, will determine the long run survivability of the businesses. And from the buyer's perspective, basically pricing also will determine the affordability. The affordability for the consumers to purchase, because price is directly related to our real income. Okay, the price will determine our purchasing power in relative to our income. Okay, fairness and survival as well. Okay, because that's where we can see around. Okay, especially today, you can see a few countries. Okay, there are chaos because increase in the cost of living. Yeah, in which if we talk about the essentials, okay, some group of people may not even be able, okay, to purchase and survive if they cannot afford to purchase the essential things, okay, in our life. Okay, so when we want to set the price, okay, these are the very basic considerations, okay, in which at the bottom side, all right, we have the cost of the product. Okay, this is the basic in which if the price, okay, need to be determined, it should cover the cost. Okay, and we know that the cost, okay, we have fixed cost, okay, and we have variable cost that made up the total cost. So this will become the price floor, the lowest price, okay, and the price of course need to be above that cost. Okay, for example, like if the profit, or sorry, if the cost or if the total cost is let's say $10, then definitely the price should be more than $10. So this is where we get the profit. Yeah, below that, then there will be no profit, and this is where okay, the company or the business just now cannot even survive, okay, because that profit is the one that will, we use back, okay, to pay the salaries, okay, to pay the operating costs and so on. And at the maximum, is the consumer perceptions of value, okay, the ceiling. All right. So if the price, okay, that we charge is more than the value that the consumers perceive, okay, then there will be no demand. Okay, we will feel that it's not worth, for us, to pay, because basically when we pay, it's not about cheap or expensive. Yeah. For example, like, okay, we have product in which we are willing to pay higher price. Yeah, we are willing to pay 100, we are willing to pay 1,000, for example. Okay, and there are probably product which are cheaper. Okay, but why we are willing to pay more? Okay, because we see it worth for us to pay for that price. Okay, the benefit that we will receive is worth the money that we pay. Yeah, but if the consumers perceive that the price is not worth of the value that they will receive, of course there will be no demand, yeah, above those price. Okay, so this is basically the basic consideration, but in the middle actually there are many other factors. Okay, for example, what are the competitors' strategy? Okay, the nature of the market is related to the competitors, in which um, is there many competitors, yeah, in the market structure. For example, if we talk about perfect competition, okay, or industry, for example, in which there are a lot of other business who sell the similar product like us. Okay, so we have also to look at the price that our competitors is offering. Okay, and also factors like the elasticity means how much, okay, the consumers will respond if we change the price. Okay, do we have a base of loyal customers? Yeah, and also we have to look who is our market audience or the target market. Okay, how we position our brand, for example. Okay, so this will also become considerations, yeah, in setting the price. Okay, but importantly, the price should cover the cost and also must not exceed, okay, the value of the customer's perception. Right, these are some of the common pricing strategies, yeah, in which if we talk about the pricing tactics, these are some of it, not all actually, right? Example like penetration pricing, okay, in which penetration pricing is you try to penetrate the market by pricing the product below, yeah, the competitors. For example, let's say that you produce a new mineral water, the market price is $1, but you price it a little bit lower. Yeah, skimming pricing is you price more expensive than your competitors. But of course, to be able to do this, you have to have something, okay, which are unique, okay, in which this become the reason why the consumers want to pay more for your product than they pay the competitors. Okay, competition pricing or market pricing is basically you just follow the market price. Yeah, for example, like the mineral water just now, if the market price is $1, then you just price it, okay, $1 as well. Okay, we have also psychological pricing. For example, like the odd even pricing, 9 ringgit or $9.99. Yeah, buy one get one. Yeah, so people will perceive that, okay, this is worth for them to purchase. Yeah, and we have also promotional pricing. Okay, this basically like discount. Yeah, but of course you have to make sure that it is really a real promotion. Yeah, like what we have learned in the last class. And bundle pricing is also very popular. Okay, like combo price, right? Instead of you purchase only the drink, let's say, in the restaurant, okay, you can purchase the food, okay, the side dish and also the drink together. Okay, so you bundle it together. And the bundle price normally cheaper, okay, than if you purchase the product separately. Yeah, and also geographical pricing. Yeah, this is if let's say the zone, okay, is different. Yeah, for example, like in Malaysia, our practice is that in Peninsular Malaysia and Sabah and Sarawak, the price are different because of the transportation cost. Yeah, so that is basically geographical pricing. Yeah, so these are basically some of the common pricing strategies. But as I mentioned just now, there are many more actually that you can observe, but those are the popular practices. Okay, so for the conventional pricing, okay, I mean the practices, in the conventional, okay, basically when we talk about pricing, we always talk about profit maximization, right? That is the key motive, right? Even though in the West also we talk about CSR, all those things, okay, but still it goes back to economics reason. Yeah, and the main determinant is the supply and demand, right? This is what we call as the market forces. Okay, So the supply and demand will determine, okay, the equilibrium of price in the market. Okay, so this will determine, okay, the price, yeah, that will be charged, yeah, in general lah, yeah. But if you look into individual company, then of course you have to have something unique, for example, okay, so that your price just now can be probably higher, okay, than your competitors. For example, let's say if we look into mobile phone industry, yeah, of course, this is the industry which we call it as monopolistic competition, in which the differentiation will determine how much price, okay, you can charge higher, okay, than the rest of your rivals. Okay, but the issues that may arise, okay, if we just leave it, okay, totally to the market forces, okay, and we focus mainly on the profit, okay, then this is where, okay, open the door for issues like exploitation, yeah, in which I will further explain later. Okay, inequality, the gap, between the rich and the poor, in which probably, okay, if the product, yeah, especially essential product, is available only for those who have money, yeah, because actually selling a luxury item, okay, the profit margin is higher, than we sell, a low cost item, because the low cost item you have to play with the volume, to get high profit. And then the problem of inflation, if the price is uncontrollable, okay, then it can lead to increasing in the price over time, which cause towards the inflation, which we can see around us now, right? In which the price becoming expensive, okay, each day, okay, and the consumerism issues, in which when we talk about consumerism, basically we talk about, for example, like in economics, basically, when we talk about happiness, for example, is always about how much product that we can purchase. It is basically measured through the material wealth. Yeah. So what is important here is pricing, okay, is of course definitely, is important and also acceptable in Islam, but Islam will add this ethical and moral dimension, in which from Islamic view, okay, profit must be halal. Halal here is, when we talk about profit, it does not mean that we cannot make profit, okay, but we are accountable, okay, with the price that we charge, in the sense that what do you call it? The profit is halal, in which we are not only talking about as long as we can make profit. Yeah, for example, like okay, the promotion that I explained in the last class, in which I mentioned about some people believe that bad marketing is also marketing, right? Okay, so you just think if it is viral, okay, people will buy, I get more profit. Yeah, so in Islam, basically, we have to think that not only the source of where the profit come from, okay, how we make the profit, and also actually how the profit is being spent. Yeah, so this is actually where we have to understand, go back to the roots, okay, to the basic of not only Islamic marketing, but if we have go through, okay, almost 17 weeks, okay, all the modules we talk about the same the same thing, in a sense that Islam will have this key principle, okay, the principle of justice, the principle of maslahah, the principle of accountability to Allah, okay, and of course how Sharia should be guiding, all our decisions, okay, because we are not only talking about the physical things, but we are also have to understand the metaphysical things, in which at the end of the day we are answerable to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Yeah, so that's where, okay, in which there's a lot of guidance actually in the Quran. I just pick a few. If you look into this ayah, right, the first two, they talk about measure, and justice, about the weight, do not fall short. Yeah. So how this actually relates to pricing, because this talk about measurement, right? But if you look into, let's say, if I can give example, let's say that you price the product, let's say for one pack, okay, let's say it's a food item, in which one pack of half kilogram, Okay, 500 gram is, let's say, 20 ringgit. Yeah. So you have to, really pack 500 gram as what is being promised. But if you fall short of the measure, okay, let's say instead of 500 gram, you just put 400 or 450 gram. Yeah, so this will basically not only deceiving the customers, but actually this is an attempt for you to increase your profit margin, right? Okay, because the price is 20, if you put lesser quantity, then actually you can save the cost there, and this is where we can make more profit margin. Yeah, so that's why this is relevant in terms of pricing, even though it does not mention about the price, but because the price normally is related to the product that we deliver in terms of the quality, the ingredients that we use, and also the weight that we have promised. Yeah, and the third ayah here is very popular. Okay, Ahlullahul Bait wa Haramur Riba. Okay, in which, of course, especially in financing, right? Because when we talk about pricing, it can involve also like financing products, okay, because the price nowadays is not only cash on delivery, right? Okay, not only the cash price, okay, but we have many other methods of paying, for example, like installment. Yeah, now, for example, if Malaysia, we are very popular with Shopee, we have pay later, okay, buy first, pay later, something like that. Yeah, we have to ensure, okay, that those pricing does not involve the riba element. Yeah. If we look into the hadith, right, or the Prophet guidance, actually, okay, Prophet do not agree, okay, with a fixing price. Okay, if you read the story, actually, in Madinah, okay, when price increased, the people approach the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, okay, to fix the price. Okay, but actually, the Prophet said that he does not want to fix the price, okay, because Allah is the one who fix the price. Okay, Allah is the price maker, or actually the translation is Allah is the price fixer. Yeah, but he warned against injustice. Okay, meaning that, okay, we, or Islam, basically, also the Prophet shows the example that we allow the market forces. Okay, the market freedom. Okay, because if we fix the price, it may bring injustice, okay, to the seller. Okay, because as I have shared before, the seller also will incur costs. Yeah. So a different seller will have a different cost, actually, different cost structure, and how the, even though you see the product is the same, okay, but price can be different, because the cost structure may be different in terms of, for example, like the rental that they are paying, okay, the salary, okay, the ingredients, okay, the suppliers, the raw materials that they get from ingredients. Yeah, so of course the price can vary. Yeah, so if you fix, then sometimes we do not realize that it can do injustice to the seller. Yeah. So in Islam, when we talk about justice, is not only to one side, only to the consumers, but also to both parties, yeah, sellers and also the consumers. Yeah, because when we talk about the market forces, we're talking about supply and demand, supply from the sellers and demand from the consumers. Okay, but to motivate, yeah, there's also a very popular hadith in which the truthful merchant will be with the prophet and martyrs. Okay, meaning that if the merchants, okay, are honest, okay, truthful, okay, then your positions, is in the high rank, inshallah, in the hereafter. Yeah. All right, so this again is the key principles of pricing in Islam, in which some probably I have mentioned in the past. All right, again, okay, fairness is very important in Islam, okay, in which the exploitation is not only to the buyer, but also we cannot exploit the seller. Okay, so the fairness should be for both parties. Okay, I'm sorry for the second box is the same point, right? And then it's very important, okay, in Islam, okay, when we talk about transaction, because pricing, okay, when you agree to purchase, this is where the transaction will happen. And you have to agree with the pricing that you want to pay. Yeah. So the principle of mutual consent. Okay. antara minkum. There's a Quranic verses on that, right? Okay, the agreement between the buyer and seller that you agree. Okay, I agree with this price, this product, and so on. Okay, that's why sometimes we practice to say when we purchase something, okay, we explicitly mention, okay, I buy, okay, and for the seller, I sell, okay. So this is basically to make it explicit that we have this mutual consent. Yeah. And if you go to maybe supermarket, maybe we don't really utter that words, okay, but there is normally the terms and condition that we have to agree, yeah, before we pay the price. Okay, so this is where the transparency is very important. Okay, the terms, okay, in which that's where the buyer, the seller must make sure that the terms, whatever, okay, cost, okay, that the buyer need to pay must be informed. Yeah, so we make informed decisions. There is no hidden cost. Okay, so the price must be display. Yeah, so that we can make better decision based on that. Sharing, yeah, or informing, okay, of the price. Moderation, right? Avoid extreme profiteering. As a seller, we know actually how much profit is it, really logic or not. Okay, because of course, as the consumer, as I said just now, we don't know the cost of the seller. Okay, that's where being accountable to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is very important. Yeah, and also the principle of public interest, the maslahah, yeah, in which the pricing must not harm the society, in the sense that especially this is for the essential item, yeah, essential item for the basic survival, for example, like the food, okay, like housing, yeah, in which this is where later in Islamic economics the government also should play the role, yeah. And these are the list of some of prohibited, pricing practices. Okay, again, okay, the three box above is basically if we take or if we learn about Islamic financing, these are normally the most emphasized. I have mentioned about the riba just now. Okay, usually. This is especially when we talk about pricing or transactions that involve financing, yeah, or maybe late payment, yeah. So we have to make sure that it have no elements of riba. And the gharar element, in which I mentioned last class about the mystery box, remember? Okay, in which you pay the price but you don't know what you are going to receive because it's a mystery. Okay, but this one can cause zulm, meaning that can cause unfairness if the product that you pay is not worth, the price. And even though it's a mystery, but there is certain condition. Yeah, for example, like you have to, for example, maybe okay, these are the options of product that you may receive, but you don't know you will receive which one. Yeah, but if it is really no information about what kind of product, and then it is not actually Sharia compliant. Yeah, and the elements of maisir. Yeah, it may not be like you buy the lottery. Of course, it is clearly haram, right? Okay, but for example, like contest, yeah, we have to be very careful because there is a fatwa if you want to collect the fee from the participant, that money that you collect from the participant cannot be used to buy the prizes, okay, because they will involve element of maisir. Yeah, because when we talk about prize, maybe 1,000 people join the contest, but only 10 people win the prize, right? So if you want to give the prize, you have to have different fund, yeah, for the prizes, or maybe you get sponsorship for the prizes, okay, and the money that you collect is only for administration fee. Yeah, so this is where we have to be careful. Okay, and also the practice of hoarding, ihtikar. Okay, this is where we create artificial scarcity to raise price. Okay, it happens sometimes, especially the essential product. Okay, it happened last time, the chicken, the eggs, right? Okay, in Malaysia last time. Okay, in which you actually have the product, but you hoard it. Okay, so that the demand or there will be shortage in the market, that will push the price up. Then only you take out so that you can sell the product at a higher price. Okay, the fraud, or tadlis, again, and this is where you hide the defect. Yeah, for example, there is a popular what do you call it, practice, in which maybe the pre-loved item, bundle item, right? Yeah. So this is actually permissible, but you really tell the people, okay, this is bundle item, second hand item. Yeah. So this is the price. Yeah. Or sometimes you will find something that they put like as is, yeah, meaning that, okay, this is the price, but this probably the defect that you will find in the price. Yeah. So if it is transparent, then it's okay. Yeah. And also gaban fahish is where you mark up the profit excessively, yeah, without any justification, right? um Okay. So this one, even though actually there is no hadith, sometimes the student ask me whether you can make 200% profit or whatever. Okay. But actually there's no hadith on that. Yeah, that say that you cannot make how many hundred profit. But again, as I said, the seller know. Okay. If for example the price is high because of the cost, yeah, because you can see, of course, the price at the hotel, coffee at the hotel is more expensive than the price of coffee in a restaurant. Yeah. But there is a justification. Yeah. But if there is no justification and reason why the price is very high, then, and it does not denote the quality just now, then you may exploit the consumers. Okay, monopoly, right? Of course there is a regulation actually, okay, that most of the country, or all of the country actually, does not allow the monopoly. Yeah. But it always relate to predatory pricing, in which this is where you purposely cut off the price with the intention, yeah, to take out the competitors from the industry, so then later you become the monopoly. Yeah. It is not allowed because monopoly meaning that the consumers does not have options, does not have choices. But monopoly actually, in the real world, it is what we call as regulated monopoly. Yeah, for example, like electricity, in most of the country, they probably only one company that provide the services, but it is regulated by the government, so that they cannot increase the price as they like. Yeah. And also discriminatory pricing, in which you price differently without any valid justification. Yeah. The same product, but because maybe of a different religion, for example, you charge differently, so that is not allowed. Okay. All right. So for the modern application, okay, what is being practiced, okay, we allow, okay, as I mentioned just now, the market based pricing, okay, but must be ethical. And normally the essential, okay, this is where the social responsibility, in which what do we mean by pricing must not harm poor and vulnerable, in which this is where in Islam we recognize the role of the government, okay, as compared to the laissez-faire or capitalism, yeah, in which the government role is very minimum. Yeah. Or if you look into the socialist economy, everything is determined by the government. Okay. But in Islam, we recognize the market forces just now. Even I have mentioned that Prophet SAW even does not want to fit the price. Okay. But of course, must be done ethically, in the sense that there is no element of exploitation and all those things. Yeah. And if we want to price premium pricing, okay, it must worth of the quality. Okay, it does not mean that in Islam, everything must be sold at a cheap price. It's not like that. Yeah. You can price it premium. Okay, but of course the quality also must be at par with the price that we charge. Okay, and of course, if we talk about the essential just now, okay, the poor or the vulnerable, okay, the less income segment, okay, should have access to the goods, should have choices, okay, should be able to purchase, okay, for their living, right? And also, of course, there's a lot of example normally in Islamic banking, yeah, pricing of the financial product, in which basically what we can learn from the Islamic banking is that the contract, yeah, that is underlying the pricing. Even though I know that there are those who say, oh, there's no difference between Islamic bank and also conventional banking, because when we talk about the price, or the rate, it's like, oh, you change the interest rate to profit rate, but actually if you learn about Islamic banking, the contract are different. For example, if we talk about okay what do you call it, installment payment, the relationship between the banker and the what do you call it, consumer, is not the debtor and creditor as in conventional bank, but it is between buyer and seller. So that's why we call it as a markup pricing, and that markup pricing is a profit rate. But I'm not going into that technical, but just to show that, okay, the contract, to make sure that it is transparent and all those things, must be on it. All right, and this is also where we can practice in which cost base. As I mentioned just now, the pricing should be based on the actual cost, and of course should be more than the cost, to make sure that it is fair at the side of the seller. You will make profit, but fair margins. And the value-based pricing, you have to show again, as I mentioned, the quality. Maybe the halal you can find a bit expensive, but halal and tayyib also is the values that we give. But of course we have to make sure again the affordability, especially in the essentials, food, all those which are the basic things, that are needed by the society. And we can also look at the practices of let's say some universities, global university like Al-Azhar. I think in Turkey as well are very popular, in which education, right, is a very essential and very basic needs of people, where they base the university, I mean the tuition fee, the model of the university is based on the wakaf, in which it will give people, or those society who have lack of affordability, to get the same access to the same education, as others. So this is one of the good model actually, that subsidized pricing via zakat or wakaf model. Right. I think the case studies also is the same thing, in which if we talk about the halal industry, right, we have to balance the premium pricing, meaning that the pricing can be a little bit higher, because in Malaysia, basically, if you want to apply for the halal logo, there is a cost to it, in which when it add to your cost, your price can be higher. But of course it's need to be balanced with the accessibility. But talking about the accessibility, if you have a lot of choices, then it's okay. That's why the monopoly is what do you call it, prohibited. Because if you have lots of options in the market, then you can have something with a high price, but there are still other things which are sold at the lower price, which are more affordable. So for Islamic finance, I mentioned just now, the markup must be transparent and use Islamic contracts, and also the role of government to make sure the essentials product given or can be purchased by the group of consumers which cannot afford higher price. So that's why sometimes the government also practice, let's say in Malaysia, during the Hari Raya, for example, during the Eid, some of the essential item, the price of the product will be put the maximum price, the price ceiling, so that the price, if you just let it to the market forces, the demand surge at that time, and then the price can can be very high, for essentials like chicken, like fish. So this is where the role of government comes in, so that it will be affordable to more people. But the challenges is, of course, now we are talking about global inflation, and of course it directly affect the affordability, especially now. The world is seeing the war here and there, which actually surge the oil price and so on. So this is where again I believe that the government intervention is very important, especially on the essentials. And now we are talking about the digital economy, right? So at one point you have a lot of options, okay, but the price, okay, sometimes probably there are hidden charges. Okay, the displayed price is, let's say, $10, and sometimes when you want to check out, oh, it become like more than 10. Okay, so the hidden fees, I mean the fees, whatever fees available, it should be made transparent, okay, to the consumers. And again, the challenge of when we talk about halal just now, okay, because the processes, the certification, okay, are all very costly. Sometimes it can be more expensive. Yeah, for example, like if we talk about healthy food, okay, green products. Yeah, Dr. Sarah talked about the green something just now, right? The green technology. Okay, we know that normally the price is a bit higher. Okay, so this is where okay, more innovations or need to be actually give more options, so that when there are more competitors, normally the price will goes down. Yeah. All right. So for the last part, actually, I would like to what do you call it? Revisit, yeah, the Jare story. If those of you who follow from the beginning, yeah, from the first module, this story have been told, okay, by Dr. Ridwan Fontaine, yeah, on one of the companions named Jarir. Okay, this is actually famous, okay, when we teach on Islamic pricing, okay, in which the horse that Jarir purchased, yeah, is 300 dinar. Okay, but Jarir went to the seller when he, upon knowing that the horse he paid only for 300 dinar. Okay, he said that this horse is worth more than 300 dinars. Okay, and actually, the full story is that he negotiate. I mean, like he asked the seller to give the price, and he said that it's still very cheap. Okay, and the seller quote no price. He said it is still very cheap, you know, and ended up they give the seller an extra of 500 dinars. Yeah, so for me, this is actually from the pricing perspective is very rare actually, yeah, for us to practice like this, right? Because most of the time what we heard is that, oh, the seller is manipulating, for example. Okay, the seller price is very high, the seller is unfair. It's all, the blame is on the seller. Yeah, but sometimes we have to reflect as well. Okay, uh, not all seller are big seller. I mean, like not all the seller are big organization. We have small time seller like the SMEs, for example. You can see sellers on the street, right? In which some of them may not have enough knowledge, how to price the product. Yeah. So sometimes that's why we can even feel that, oh, why this is very cheap? Are they making any profit? For example, okay, because sometimes I encounter that situation because I think they should actually price the product higher. Yeah, looking probably at the quantity, looking at the quality of the product. Yeah, as a Muslim, I believe we cannot only see, to the seller when we talk about, again, as fairness just now. We also have to look into ourselves as consumers, because all of us are consumers. Yeah, because we consume product and we buy something. We buy a lot of things, right? For our needs. Okay, maybe many of us also are seller, but not all of us are seller basically. Yeah, so this is to show that when we talk about ihsan, for example, okay, we have to look at both parties, and if, for example, okay, we can practice. Even we pay more than what the sellers charge. Yeah. But this is where I think, me, myself as well, okay, rarely doing, right? We're happy we get a cheaper price. But if we see that the seller is like, maybe he don't know, he didn't learn on how to calculate proper cost and whatnot. Okay, if we feel that it's worth for us to pay more, then we can pay more. Okay, so we can follow, okay, the sahabah, okay, into paying, okay, the worth of the product. Yeah, because basically sometimes when we go to the small seller, okay, we ask for a cheaper price, right? But we are willing to pay more when we go to the a bigger shopping mall. Okay, we never ask for lesser price. Okay, we go into what are shopping mall in Malaysia, like Sogo, for example. Okay, maybe if Malaysian, no, right? we go to Giant, we go to supermarket, we never ask for a lower price. But we know that basically their profits or revenues are millions. But when we go to this small timer, then we ask for lesser. But actually, maybe their profit margin is very, very low, maybe RM1, or maybe that is the only sales that they get for the day. All right, so this is something that we can reflect upon. So this is the last part where actually to conclude, pricing in Islam balance profit with fairness is always, as I mentioned just now, the physical element and also the metaphysical element, in which pricing is also the spiritual responsibility. It's not only about profit, but our accountability towards Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala at the end of the day. And of course, that's why Islam prohibits any element of deception, fraud, exploitation, because the principle of fairness just now. And that fairness is actually must be both between seller and also consumer or buyers. And actually in pricing, we can practice sadaqah. For the seller, we can see that some of the seller, there are some, even though they can price high, but they price it low because they have intention to give sadaqah to the consumers. I see a few, many sellers as well. They price it lower because they want to help more people to be able to buy the product. And even the buyers also, we can give sadaqah instead of, let's say, we look at, especially if the seller is a small timer, we see, all right, the price should be more. Instead of paying RM5 as the price mentioned, but we can give more. Give more. Just give. And the extra is okay. Keep the change. Not because we are rich, no. Because we can feel actually that extra money that we pay, can be very big, to some people. Inshallah. Right. So I think with that, I thank you. And inshallah, we are going to meet again in distribution. I think we have time for question and answer, because last week I think I'm actually exceed the time. So I'm a bit careful this time so that I can finish on time.
Thank you very much, Prof. So now we come to the Q&A. Let me check in the chat box. Participant need to have a question, you can raise up your hand. Direct question also. It's a good. Okay. Yeah, Prof, from, I think this is okay, Prof, from Muhammad. I'm not sure, Dr. Onad. Muhammad Babar.
Okay, what is fair price then? Okay, fair price. What is fair price? What do you mean by fair price? Okay, of course, it's very subjective, in which what is a fair to you might not be fair to me, right? But as I mentioned just now, right, when the seller determine the pricing, they should have calculated all the costs and all those things, right? And when we as the buyer purchase, right, we look at the value of the product. So if we agree that the product is worth of the price, then we can regard it as fair to us. But for other buyers, maybe the perception is that this price is high, because from his or her perceptions, it's not worth of the price that he or she will pay. But the cost is quite objective, because you can calculate the cost. But when we talk about value, it is very subjective, because it depends on your perception. So if you feel that the price is not fair to you, based on your evaluation of the value, then we have options as buyers to go to other sellers. And for example, if the price of the sellers are really not fair, in the long run, actually the sellers will not survive, because if majority of the buyers feel that the price is not fair, then they will lose the customers. There will be no demand for the product in the long run. For example, if you go to the restaurant and you're not satisfied with the taste or whatever that you eat, with the price that you pay, we are not going to the restaurant again in the future, right? And if majority of the consumers did the same thing, then of course the business will shut down. Yeah. So the fare cannot be like quantified. Okay, 100 is fair, 200 is fair. It should be between 1,000 or 2,000, because fare relate to also perceptions of value, which is very subjective from one consumer to another consumer. Okay, I hope I answer your question. Right.
Yeah.
Manipulated by influences. Because even actually influencers, as I have discussed in promotion, you cannot fake review the product. Okay, that's where the honesty is very important. Yeah, but of course it is very self-regulated. We cannot dictate other people not to do this, not to do that. Okay, but that is where it goes back to how we govern ourselves, and this is where it root back to our understanding, our attitude that embrace to Islam fully. Yeah. But of course, in the society, there's always those people who take advantage and so on. If someone forget his or her change in my shop, should I add it up to my profit or sale of the day? Will I be wrong? Should give sedekah? What do you think? Forget his or her change. If possible, you trace him or her back. Yeah. I think there is some guideline, okay, in which the money is not ours. So I don't think it should be put in our profit. Yeah. But if possible, if you know the customers, you try to contact back the customers and ask him or her whether he wants us to pay back the change. Yeah. So if the customers cannot be reached, maybe you can make notice. But if you cannot, reach that person, then after certain days, I think after 3 days or whatever, I need to check back. You can actually give the money to the public lah, meaning give sedekah. How does price differ? Price is of course different element, because product is the product or services, the things that we sell. Okay, price is the value that we charge. Okay, something that we charge. Okay, for example, like the shoe is the product. Okay, $100 is the price. And place is the distribution, in which I'm going to talk about that next week, inshallah. Right, but they are totally different element. We call it in marketing as a marketing mix element. There's no fixed price in Islam. Fixed price. There's no fixed price in Islamic perspective. I'm not really sure what you mean by fixed price. Fixed price. Yeah, because it also depends on the market forces, as I said just now. So there is no fixed price in the sense that the cost will change and whatnot. So fixed in the sense that let's say the government, the government, for example, if they want to fix the price as well. At one point, actually, okay, if I can share what happened in Malaysia last time, we have the shortage of chicken. When the government want to fix the price at certain level, I talk to the seller actually when I want to buy the chicken. Okay, as a woman, as a wife, okay, you go to the shop and you want to buy the chicken. I talk to the retailer and he said that when they sell at the fixed price, they get nothing. They get no profit at all, actually. Okay, but what they hope is that when the consumer go to their shop, they will buy other things that they can make the profit out of other things that they sell. Okay, not the chicken. Yeah, so that's why I said sometimes the fixing price to one price may not be fair to the seller. Yeah. Okay, that's why before the price is being fixed by the authority, for example, they have to get some information what are the price to be fixed. Okay, or else you go back to the market forces. Okay, but normally the price that need to be fixed or need to be interfered by the government or the authority is the essential lah. Okay, we don't fix price on furniture, clothing, in which you can have lots of options. How is the place where they were connected to its price? Yeah, okay, connected because the cost of the operating is different. Yeah, for example, like grocery store, even it depends on the location of the grocery store. If the grocery store is located at big shopping mall like KLCC, for example, of course the rental fee is very expensive, right? So the price can be a little bit more. Okay, so the movie theater, um, yeah, they have to look at the total cost of operating the place, yeah, so that that place will charge, okay, the rent to the vendor. So this need to be calculated as well in the pricing. So that's why the pricing can be different at different place. Yeah, okay. And of course, it relates to also the what do you call it? Availability of products at that particular place. Yeah, for example, maybe at that place only that seller, okay, selling the product, that's why the demand is more, okay, so that the price can be more as well. So pricing normally, if we talk about the market forces, we'll always relate to the demand and supply. Okay, so I think that's all. No more question.